welcome to another episode of the Grumpy Dads. Before we carry on, I want you to go hit like, I want you to hit subscribe and hit that bell so that you get notified of all the new content we've got coming up. Some fantastic guests we've got lined up. You don't want to miss it. I'm going to welcome, as always, Chris.
Hello, mate. And this week we have got the amazing Yazzy.
Hello.
Yazzy.
Yeah, Yazzy.
So saying yes.
Yeah.
Always conscious.
Pronounce that. Is this becoming like a Cheshire thing? Yazzy.
I should really check with guests before we make
How
our
to say it,
introductions.
yeah.
And go, is that right? Have I said your name right? No, you haven't, actually.
It's a bit of a crazy name.
You're getting really down with the kids. Yazzy.
I like that.
As always, we're going to kick off with icebreaker antics. So the rules are, I scour the net looking for 1-star reviews. You've got to guess products based on the reviews I read out. If you guess it on the first guess, you get 3 stars. On the second guess is 2 stars. And on the last guess is 1 star.
I'm nervous.
Okay, first product, first review. Fixed it to the wall. It's hard to use. Really unstable.
We've got to say guitar, haven't we?
Yeah. Wouldn't be unstable if it was on the... Fixed it to the wall. It's really hard to use.
Really unstable.
I'm going to go for a light fitting.
It makes sense, but it's incorrect.
Is
And
my
hard to
personality
use.
an optional answer here? Because that would be unstable.
Oh my gosh. I actually have no idea. What would be unstable stuck on a wall?
Probably a lot of things. I'd be unstable if I was stuck to the wall.
Yeah, I was just thinking that. I have no idea. We'll go for
Are you
guitars.
going for guitar? No, it's
Yeah.
not guitar. Second review. The noise is unbearable. It makes me shudder.
I'm going to go, not going for a specific brand, but those mounted, you know, you got the vacuum cleaners that are cordless and they charge on the wall.
Oh
Yes.
gosh, yeah.
So
No, it's
that will
not.
make noise unbearably when you're
Yeah.
vacuuming. And it could be unstable on the wall.
Yes, all of those things, but no, it's not.
Brilliant thinking.
Yeah.
Wrong.
In my head, I'm thinking like someone's tried to stick their wife on a wall, but that's just not going to be the answer. That's not going to be on Amazon or something, is it?
Who sticks their wife to the wall?
Psychopath.
No, I don't know why that.
Donald
We've
Trump.
got nothing on our. What would be on that?
Ooh,
I have no idea.
I've got an idea.
Go on then. If you want to pass your guess to Duncan for him
Yeah,
to
I'm
get it
passing
wrong,
it,
as
'cause
he
I have no
always
idea.
does,
Okay.
go.
I'm going to go for exercise equipment.
Oh, no, it's not. It's a good guess. I'll let you off on that one. Third review. No matter which brand, it sounds like nails when I write.
A computer, like a old computer.
That you'd stick to a wall. Have you ever stuck a computer to a wall?
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, that's just like a really old-fashioned, like big.
I would see us.
Oh yeah, the old wall computers that everybody knows about. Yeah, I know
Yeah.
them.
Like
Oh.
Jeffrey Epstein's spying equipment, just wedged in. You know?
That's what we have in our house.
I mean, it's
Oh, we're getting the dirt now.
we're on to the third review, and I mean something in that third review is a very well-known saying.
Can you say it again, please?
No matter which brand, it sounds like nails when I write.
A chalkboard.
There we go. Chalkboard.
Oh.
There we go. Very good. So we got 1 star. I mean, it's not good, but it's a start. Okay, we'll move on to the second product. First review. I know it's cheap, but it looks ridiculous.
Me.
You've got to stop guessing you, because you did you last week.
Ridiculous could be a good thing, couldn't it?
Can it? I'm going to ask why, because I can't think.
Because you know, like some people are like, that's ridiculous. Oh, more than, I don't know.
There's a definite generational gap here. But
This is where the grumpy dads versus the young star really is.
What would you not want that looks ridiculous? I shouldn't be giving clues out on the first guess, really.
I'm going for some kind of fashion item.
Yeah.
I'll say a jacket or a coat.
I know it's cheap, but it looks ridiculous. Yeah, that fits, but it's not right. Probably doesn't fit, looking ridiculous, but
I know it's cheap, but it looks ridiculous.
I thought you were going to make a fat joke then.
Is it going to be like a face mask or something?
Ooh,
I noticed a question mark. Are you going for face mask?
We'll go with a face mask.
Or something? No, it's not a face mask. It's not a face mask.
I got my hopes out.
Second review. It looks soft with a shine in the picture.
Picture frame.
It's not a picture frame. I know it's cheap, but it looks ridiculous. Yeah, that fits. It looks soft with a shine in the picture.
Bedding? Like a duvet cover?
It's not a shiny duvet cover. I'll go on to the third one.
There's a new opportunity for some marketing here. Mirrored duvet covers. I think that's
Shiny duvet cover, brackets to put your wife on the wall.
Oh God.
It's like one of those true crime documentaries when they go in the houses, like, how did nobody guess this guy was a guy?
Go on to the third review. Is this dog hair?
Is this dog hair?
Is this dog hair?
A wig.
A wig. Well, a toupee.
Oh well.
Yeah, but I've given it for wig.
I'll tell you a story. I was at my mum had taken me to church as a kid, and it was one of those churches that has the upper section like a gallery.
Yeah.
And I was up there with a bunch of mates, and we were sort of looking down, and you can see all the people on the, in the cheap seats,
Yeah. Yeah.
So I had this toupee that had fallen forward, and he had no idea. But it meant that he had this smile on the back of his head.
No.
The toupee sat forward, and he just had this smile of skin. And I swore, if I ever went bald, it was going. And I wasn't ever going to go down that path. Cruel irony. I'm bald as a plucked chicken.
Okay, let's move on to the third product. First review. It takes chunks and fills up way too fast.
Oh, a blender.
Takes chunks and fills up way too. I think that's very literal, but no, it's not.
I'm going to go for a paper shredder.
Paper shredder is a good guess, but it's not correct. Second review. How can a machine be so temperamental? Don't use when damp. Now, I will give a slight clue with this one. It means don't use when damp. Don't use the area when damp, not the machine itself.
Because I was thinking like a washing machine, but at first, but then don't use when damp. Oh God, I don't know. I'm just not very good at this
area, not the actual item. So that could fit.
Oh yeah, I guess that's true. So I go for a washing machine for my second. But then why would a washing machine take chunks?
I'm going to take that as a guess,
okay,
but I'm not going to comment on how bad that guess is. But no, it's not right. Okay.
Oh gosh.
Yeah, I'm wondering if it's like a wood chipper, when you stick the branches in.
Oh yeah.
It chips the wood.
It chips the wood and it would take it up. Yeah. They're really smart. They put a lot of thought into the title for wood chipper, don't you?
Yeah, I know. What are we going to call it? Well, it chips wood, so wood chipper. No, it's not a wood chipper, but you are along the right lines, and we are on to the third guess. So it ruined my garden. Huge patches haven't grown back.
Oh, a lawnmower.
Lawnmower. That's 3 stars. You are right at the top of the leaderboard that doesn't exist, and nobody can check that either. So
what weird reviews?
Yeah, they always are. Otherwise, I wouldn't write it down if they weren't. But 3 stars. It's a good go. I think. I don't want to say anything nasty about it.
The trophy you get for trying.
Yeah.
Everyone gets a trophy.
I seem so uneducated.
It's fine. No one does well during icebreaker antics.
No.
Again, no one can check that. So
no,
unless they watch our previous episodes and see that I'm completely lying with that statement. So okay, we'll move on to crazy questions, basically random questions. We just want your opinion on them. So first crazy question. What weird food combinations do you enjoy?
Do you know what? This is really weird. I really like. Actually, maybe this is a bit embarrassing. No, it's fine. What I really like is ready salted hula hoops, like the little crisps with raspberries.
Whoa, that was worse.
You didn't expect to go. Because it's like you've got the sweet and salty.
I don't get it.
Don't knock it till you try it. I love it.
You're not about to announce a pregnancy, are you?
No.
That is exactly
On here, breaking news. I mean, that'd be quite good. Yeah, we could clickbait it. Let's do that.
We get the scoop on the announcement of a pregnancy because of her saying she likes hula hoops with raspberries stuck in the middle.
Raspberries. Well, I've always liked it, but yeah, weird one.
I mean, I may try that. I only had raspberries yesterday, but we finished them. So I'm a bit gutted about that. Well, gutted. It doesn't sound nice. It doesn't. We'll one day make a YouTube video of me and Duncan eating,
trying it,
hula hoops and raspberries. So strange. Duncan,
yeah, I'm a bit weird.
You are from Australia. You must have some crazy stuff.
I went to it was a meal, and the way they did it was like a set meal. You just get it. It was like small portions, and you got loads of different things to try. Like almost like a degustation type thing. And they brought out this. It was steak in chocolate sauce.
Oh.
And I was, you've got to be kidding me.
It's like the chili and chocolate thing. Like, what's that about?
Oh, I love chili and chocolate.
Really?
I'll tell you a funny story. I'd been bought a really, really strong chili chocolate for Christmas, and I had it in my bedside table, and my daughter had come in and was like, chocolate.
Oh, she was.
Don't touch it. It's awful. You're going to burn your mouth, and you'll be. No, I want it. No, you're not. And this went on for about a week. And if you know my daughter and pathological demand,
just thinking about it, yeah.
It's just like, come and do it.
Oh.
And I walked in, and she had this piece, and she's like, ha.
And you're there like, yeah.
Running around the room going,
That sounds like justice right there. It's kind of like, I told you, okay?
Yeah.
I know it burns, but just take the lesson, okay?
Have this jalapeno, it will help take the taste away.
God. My son, he did the same with cheese. He likes to steal cheese from the fridge and then put it under his pillow for him to snack on at night. Yeah, well, he decided to do it with chili cheese. And we always kind of put a drink for when they wake up so they can have a quick sip if they got like a salty mouth or whatever. Half his bottle was gone in the morning and 2 bites were taken out of it. So
like a little mouse.
You got to give him credit. He didn't just go, nah.
Yeah, he tried it.
There's always that delay with chili cheese. Well, certain sort of foods, isn't there? When you go, oh, that's quite nice. And then it starts building and building. Like, that's hot. That's hot. I've already had 3 spoonfuls. But okay, we'll move on to the next crazy question. If an app existed for anything, what would you want it to be and do?
Yeah.
Idiots out of government.
An app that could get idiots out of government.
I mean, fantastic. Sorry, you've screwed this up. Gone. Almost like the 4 buzzers on Britain's Got Talent or something like that. Once enough people have voted, you're gone. Just
yeah, I can probably see some corruption with that system.
Yeah.
And also, it's no secret that we've got idiots in this country. I mean, we know who's in power. So
you know what? It's true.
I don't think I'd want that app. I don't think I want. The app I would want though is a lie detector, an actual one that works. Ooh. And not only would it work on speech, but it would work on tweets, Facebook posts, and everything else. So literally, it pops up with a red light. I don't care. I would live for it. I really would. Imagine all those posts coming up saying, and it goes back through the previous. So it pops up and then you can go back through everybody's post to see if they were lying or not.
Just think how your kids are going to use that against you.
Yeah.
What do you mean?
Yeah. Let's just go for the awkward. Do you have a favorite, Daddy? No.
I'd only be lying if I said.
Did you ever steal anything when you were a kid? No. Yeah, exactly.
Okay, let's reel it back. Not quite as deep as that, but more along the lines of, I did this today and it was amazing and everything else, and they didn't.
Yeah.
So, yeah. just to dig out those attention seekers that kind of come up with stuff that they've done just to post on social media. It was more along those lines. Yazzy, what would you like your app to do?
I think this might even be an app already, but I think what would be really cool. I think it's because I'm everything I do is sort of social media. But I think something that would be really cool is like a Facebook sort of app, but for people with like mental health problems. So it's some sort of, sorry, my dog is barking if you can hear that joining in, but some sort of like site specifically for like mental health. I don't know what it would have within it, but so there's somewhere for people to go. Maybe it's got like little games on it or some sort of thing, like to, I don't know, like to deal with their anxiety, but it's all within like one app for people that do struggle. Because, you know, we've got, well, all our social medias, like even as positive as they are, they're not in their own way. Like I'll sit and scroll on like TikTok and stuff like that, and I'm like, oh, this is like great. And then before you know it, you're actually like really taking in what other people are saying and their opinions about things or this and that and whatever. I think an app for mental health, like a social media sort of app, would be really cool. But I don't know, because it could get a bit
the issue
creative.
I love the thought behind it though.
I do see an issue with it though, because like anywhere, and obviously we're Zen parents and we get this all the time where people will try to make money off of those sort of things, and you'll get from all different directions. I think it's a great idea. I do. And to actually have tools within the app to calm anxieties, even offer services of and give information, it would be a wonderful app. The problem is in this world and how ruthless and cutthroat it is.
Yeah.
It's a tough one, but I do enjoy the idea. I think it's a really, really good idea. We'll move on to the podcast itself. Thanks for joining us, Yazzy. We do appreciate all our guests coming on. A few questions that we wanted to ask you. First is your YouTube music videos. They stretch way back. How long? How long have you actually been singing for?
I did my first gig when I was 10, so I'm 21 now. So yeah, like 10, 11 years. And like ever since I did my first gig, it wasn't just like, oh, I've like done like one gig this year. Like it was like I did a gig and then I was like, oh my goodness. And then I was doing like quite a few. I was just trying to pop up everywhere. So it has been a long time of me gigging. And then when I must have been about 10 when I first uploaded a video online, but it was probably like on my mum's Facebook or something. But then on my YouTube, there are a few that I've left up from when I was a lot younger, just because I just think they're funny. But a lot have been like privated, deleted. But I've been doing it for a long time. It's funny to see the development from when I was younger to now. A bit embarrassing.
It does. In a lot of your videos as well, you're playing guitar.
Yeah.
Where did this stem from, this love of music?
Well, my mum's always played like the piano. So when I was like really young, me and my sister were put in for like piano lessons, which is kind of, I guess when you're young, your parents just put you in for anything to kind of just see what would take your fancy. And with my sister, she's a really good musician, but she never kind of wanted to do like the performy thing of it. She's a lot more shy than me. But then my mum always says, like, when I started doing my lessons, I kind of just straight away like was really into it. And then there's one Christmas where me and my sister got given guitars, and I used to just sit and watch girls on YouTube playing the guitar and singing, and I used to just try and copy them and write songs. So I've always from a young age had like lessons, and then it's always been a part of my life. I can't really remember a time where I haven't been obsessed with music.
I love that. I think music is something that you're kind of born with.
Oh yeah, definitely. And do you know what? This might sound like a really funny thing to say, but I actually feel sorry for people that don't have music in their life, because as I've got older, like as growing up, I think it's actually shaped me as a person to have a dream and ambition that I've focused and worked towards. And it's made me feel like I'm like a more individual person. Like I've not been someone or a girl that's sort of followed such and such the roots and whatever. Like it started as I love music, I'm going to sing and write songs in my room, to actually being something that I can put all my effort and energy and everything into and emotion. And like, I know everyone's got their own individual things that they love, but like, I think like music is so amazing. Even if you're not like the best at it, it's so therapeutic. So yeah, it's a really lovely thing to have in your life, even if you don't do it professionally.
Your music, so I've been listening to sort of, my daughter plays it all the time. So, I came across Yazzy because Yazzy plays at schools a lot. And
Yeah.
well, I don't know about a lot, but goes around to different schools.
Well, before COVID.
My daughter's in the special educational needs school, and Yazzy did a visit there and a performance and talked to all the kids.
Cause your friends are so shallow and you're so vain, and I don't ever wanna see you again.
And my daughter's been a fan ever since. So
yeah, and do you know what? That's so lovely, because that was when I did my little school tour. I think it was like a 2 or 3 week period where I visited nearly every single primary school and a few secondary schools in North Devon. And I was just going around doing music, but that was maybe like 2 years ago that I did that. So that's so lovely that she remembers that. And actually, it's really sweet because I do have like some girls and boys from back then still comment on my stuff now. And I think it was her, and she did comment on, it might have been one of my TikToks or one of my Instagram things, like really recently. She left a little comment on it. I can't remember if it was TikTok or Instagram, but I saw her leave a little comment. It's just really sweet.
It was
like,
TikTok was in trouble because she's banned from TikTok.
Oh, so it wasn't not TikTok. No, it wasn't TikTok.
Wow, you've dropped one of your fans in it. That's amazing. That really is.
As a result of that, I've listened to, I've been hearing your music, and it's been there. And I'm the worst music snob in the world. I've got better with age. Like back in the day, I was, if it didn't have screeching guitars and a screaming, I wasn't interested, and I just poo-poo it. But I've really come to appreciate so much more music as age. And what I love about your music is you've got a real purity to it. It's almost classical in a lot of elements, but yet it also plays so well into the popular music scene.
Growing up, I was, with my vocals, I was classically trained. So I think that even though now I don't sing classical music, I think that tone in my voice, just from years of training in that way, does kind of stay through with what I'm doing now, even though my music is more kind of poppy or whatever.
You supported Paloma Faith at Glastonbury as well.
Yeah.
So tell us.
That was a very cool gig.
Tell us how that happened.
I've told this story like a million times, but I never get bored of saying it, because do you know what? If you're like a musician or you're someone that has like a dream or goal, how this all came about was the most like right place, right time thing, which I feel like gives me hope for future like successes, and also anyone who's watching that has a career or a dream or whatever that's not so like manual. And I always say that about music, because I feel like when you train in like another job, you sort of go to college, go to uni, then apply for jobs, and it's kind of not straightforward, but you kind of can see the steps to make. With music, it's not like that at all. But this gig, basically, I gig all the time anywhere I can. I went and did a gig in this little pub in Glastonbury, and I really did not think Michael Levis would show up. And there was lots of other acts playing, so I was only singing like 4 songs. Like, it wasn't like just a Yazzy thing. And for the first couple of acts, he wasn't there. And then about halfway through my first song, he walked in. And at the time, I couldn't drive. So my dad and my mum had come with me and driven me. I remember just looking at them and being like, oh my goodness, he's just walked in. And they looked at me, they were looking at me like, Yazzy, Michael Levis just walked in. And then he went to like the bar, and this room was like small, like this little pub, like a very like cozy little room. And he went to the bar, went and got a pint. And then, you know, I was kind of watching him, but also I was like, you know, I'm performing. And then he went and he got a chair and dragged it straight to the front, literally in front of me. There were no seats there. He literally went and got it and sat right in front of me. And I'm literally there like, oh my goodness. So bear in mind, I'm singing like 4 songs. So he sits there for like 1.5 songs. Then in the 3rd song, he gets up and leaves. And I'm like, oh, all right then, too good to be true. And then it comes back for the final one. And then when I'd finished, he literally got up on the stage and was like, wow, that was like amazing. Like, I love your original songs. Wow. And like, I had a pianist with me at the time. called John, and he went over to John and was like, wow, like she's so good, like I love this, like all of this, like being so lovely. And I just remember being like, wow, like this is amazing. And then thinking that was it. And then I went and sat down and some other bands were playing. He came over to me and asked me for my number. And I literally, well, it was two things. One, I couldn't actually remember my number off the top of my head. So I sort of panicked and I was like, yeah, okay, I'll come and give it to you in a minute. And then two, like the other band were playing and I didn't want to talk because it was such an intimate sort of thing. I didn't want to talk during their thing. I felt bad, like because everyone was like looking at him speaking to me. I felt bad. So I was kind of being like, oh, I'll come and give it to you in a minute. And my parents are looking at me like, Yazzy, like, give him your number. But luckily he came back over a couple of minutes later and took me outside and then he offered me the gig. But it was one of those moments that was literally like right place, right time. And it just kind of proves like, even though sometimes you can do gig after gig after gig after gig, and you know, lots of the time maybe they're not paid and you're traveling ages and you're doing all of this sort of stuff, you never know who's going to be somewhere. And that was the kind of beauty of that night. And I remember just when he offered me the opportunity, I came back in the room and I wrote it on the notes on my phone and I showed it to John, my pianist, and just wrote, we've just been asked to support Paloma Faith at Glastonbury Extravaganza in front of 10,000 people. And I literally wrote it like that in capital letters. I showed it to him and his face was just like, and then I showed it to my mum and my dad, and my dad does not cry. And I looked at him and I could just see like all these tears on. And he's not like that at all. But I think it was one of those moments where we were like, the amount of gigs where my dad has literally driven me to like London and we've driven for however many hours, gone and done a gig and there's only been 6 people there and then driven the whole way home. And we've done that so many times, literally since I was 10, just trying to get my name out. And it was one of those moments where my dad and my mum, I think, were like, wow, this is where it's all kind of paid off. And then that gig was just the icing on the cake, or the cherry on the cake.
That's all it can be. Intoxicated feelings, just a memory. Thank you.
You're really close with your dad, aren't you? And your grandfather, I believe.
Yeah, I'm really close with all my family, which I think is really important. And actually, this is like a little exclusive, but when COVID's over, I'm hoping to move to like in between London and Brighton so that I can just be around live music all the time. But every time I think about it, I get so upset because I've got a little brother he's going to be turning 12 in a month. But I'm really close to him, really close to my sister. My grandparents are living with us now. So they've lived with us for the past 2 years. So I'm really close with them. But I love it. Like, I know some people aren't that close with their family, but I would rather, I'd rather go for a coffee with my mum than like go see some of my friends, to be honest. I am very close with my family, yeah.
Where would Yazzy like to be in 5 years?
So I guess this ties on with the me moving to London thing. I'd really like to just, well, there's a couple of artists that I really aspire to. Nina Nesbitt, she's a really big person, not musically, but I guess success-wise. I went to watch her at the Islington in London. I remember just sitting there, and I say only, but it's 600 capacity, and I thought that is where I need to be. So what I would like in the next 5 years is to be in London, be doing lots of songs, writing lots of songs with people, and just getting a bit more recognition for my music, I guess, and collabing with lots of people and just being completely surrounded by it all. That's what I'd love. And to be that level, so the Islington to 600 people, that is what I'd love. I'd love that.
Do you see yourself in the charts at any point?
Yeah, that's always been like a really big goal of mine. It's funny because I think as a musician, you do sort of think about your music and think, oh, would that actually fit in the charts, or would that da-da-da-da-da-da? But I think the important thing is to kind of make music that you love, and then if people start to like it, then it will speak for itself. And a couple of years ago, I was meant to go and see Adele. It was the year that she cancelled her 2 final shows, so I never actually got to see her. But I was in London already, and it was about 2 o'clock in the morning when she announced that she wasn't going to be doing the show the next day. So I had my guitar in the back of my car because I was recording in the studio the next couple of days. And I went down outside Wembley and I started like this little sing along, and it went a bit viral and a bit crazy. What I took away from that whole night was that even though a lot of Adele's music is slow and it's heartbreak and it's all, you know, it's that sort of music, the people there, the mix of people, like you had people like my dad, you had like women, then young girls, and this and that, and even everyone can appreciate different sorts of music. And that night sort of made me realize, actually, I don't need to make a different style of music to kind of fit what I want to do. Like, people will appreciate what you want to do. And I think, yeah, like my goal is to have my music in the charts, because I would love my music to be recognized in that way.
Because your songs are very personal.
Yeah, definitely.
Where do you draw from for inspiration for your lyrics? Because your lyrics are really well written.
Oh, thank you. I try and write from personal experience, and then I just sort of try and dramatize it a little bit, if you know what I mean, because my life isn't like this big crazy thing. But I will just, something will have happened that will make me want to write a song, and I'll take that initial idea and then I just let my mind kind of run free with it. But a lot of my songs are personal and are about things I've gone through or I've seen someone else go through. And I've always said, like, I don't think I'll ever be someone who like writes songs about like leaves or something. Do you know what I mean? Like, it will always be something that's kind of personal and maybe hard hitting. But I like that, even if it's like a sassy song, it's got like a meaning behind it, if you know what I mean. I think like strong lyrics and stuff are important to me because I'm a very emotional person. Like, when I'm happy, I'm really happy, and when I'm sad, I'm really sad, and I'll be like crying and all of this. Like, it's just, I'm very.
One I was listening to where you were clearly referencing an old friendship that you both directions. And
yeah.
It was really
On your way up.
We were both 16 with so many dreams. We were country girls trying to take on the world, and we made the perfect team.
That sort of reflective perspective on something that's really obviously deeply personal.
Well, actually, that song, I uploaded it on my YouTube, but it's a song that I wrote years ago, and I played it at my gigs, and lots of my followers that come to my gigs love it. And I didn't put it online anywhere because I thought, oh my God, I'm going to get like a DM or a message being like, this song's about me, because it literally is so personal. It literally quotes things that were said. But the thing is like, that is something that I've gone through in my life. And it's not like my songs are like malicious or nasty. They kind of just are something that's happened, and then I'll just kind of share it. And I am a bit of an oversharer sometimes, but to be honest, I think the thing is I think that's why lots of my followers do like me, because they feel like they know me, because I guess they do. Like, when they come to my gig, like, I will go and speak to every single person who has come to watch me at my gig. Like, even when I did the Paloma Faith gig, I came off stage and there was a queue for my merch stand, and I stood there for 3 hours just talking to every single person. And yeah, it's just, yeah, I feel like my songs are personal, but then it lets people feel like they know me.
Is that confronting sometimes? Do you sometimes feel like, whoa, they know a lot about me and I don't know this person from a bar of soap?
Sort of, but I don't think I share more than I'm comfortable sharing. There are some times where I think, oh my goodness, like, because when you're on social media a lot, you do end up that a lot of you is out there. I think I like the level of where I am. Like, I think people can relate to my songs and kind of find comfort in them, because everyone's been through heartbreak. Everyone has bad friends or body confidence issues or this and that. So I just kind of write songs that actually mean something to me in my life.
That song specifically, you referenced the fact that the whole body confidence sort of issue and
yeah,
that's something you seem to be almost an advocate for.
Yeah. Well, the thing is like, it is something that I think I do struggle with my weight, but also at the same time, I don't want to be this perfect girl. And I think that's also come from having quite a lot of young girls follow me, because there has been times where, I mean, I'm only human, and I will look at other girls on Instagram or whatever, and they've got like lip filler or jaw filler, and they look perfect and they look gorgeous, and I will be like, oh, maybe I should do that, maybe I should do that. But I think for me, I've never been a skinny girl, like I've never been small, and I think that's maybe why my songs are so emotional, maybe why I am so emotional, especially as I've got older and I've had times where I've lost a lot of weight or whatever. I've realized that you are the way you are for a reason, and your weight doesn't define you. And that's a big thing within my music. And there's actually a song that, well, it's a demo at the minute and I've not released it. Well, with the song that you're referencing, On Your Way Up, it was basically about me having a friend that we were like literally the same goals and ambitions, but she was like the perfect girl, and then I was always the kind of like chubby, goofy one next to her. But it doesn't really matter. Like, to me, I think I've grown a lot of confidence through my gigs, with people coming to my gigs and they'll say, oh my God, you've got an amazing voice. Oh, your hair. Oh, you look beautiful. You're this and that. And it's not about the size of jeans that I'm wearing. And I think you're always going to have people make comments about you, whether it's your weight or your hair or the way you speak or whatever. And I think life is about embracing who you are and where you are. And as long as you're happy and you're confident and you're always just being the best version of yourself, then embrace that. That's my kind of message that I try and
It's such
portray.
an important message. And it's one of the things I love that my daughter's picked up on, because she talks about that. And I'm so pleased that there's something going in there, that because whilst this message seems to be out there, the reality is that social media is pushing an entirely different agenda at the time. And Instagram in particular, it's all about, like you say, looking perfect. And people are shoving all sorts into their bodies to get this looking better or that.
Yeah, no, I know what you mean. And I think the thing is as well, back to me being so close with my family, for my mum, like, I remember I said to her, like, it was a couple of months ago, but I was like, oh, mum, like, every time I smile, my top lip disappears, and I smile a lot and I have a lot of pictures taken of me. And I was like, I think maybe I should get lip filler. And my mum was like, Yazzy, just stop. You do not need to add things to your face or this and that. It is hard because I'm only 21, but I do look at girls, and, you know, the thing is you do compare yourself naturally, but I know that I'm a nice person. I know that I have good morals. And the thing is every time I have a girl like your daughter message me, I realize, wow, like, even though I'm not in Little Mix and like, my following isn't that big, there are girls that actually follow me and really watch what I do and what I say. And it's not just young girls, it can be boys or older women. And I think then that makes you realize, actually, what do I want to portray to them? And to be honest, I think if you want to get lip filler and you want to, you know, do whatever you want to do to yourself to make yourself feel good, if you want to lose weight, all that, amazing, good for you, because that's what you need to do for you. But for me, at this point in my life, it's really important for me to stay true to myself and then share that within my music.
It's such a dangerous premise, though, isn't it? With all of social media.
Yeah.
Reference on Instagram, and obviously I don't compare myself, but for younger women, that they will go on, they will compare themselves. A lot of the time, especially with technology today, the person they're comparing to themselves to doesn't exist.
Yeah. Literally.
And it's such a crazy premise that it can affect someone's mental health and send them to almost an obsessive way to be like someone that doesn't exist.
Well, do you know what? When I was younger, like maybe my college years, so 16, 17, oh my God, I used to edit my pictures so much, but not like my body. I'd edit my face. If I had like a spot, I'd blur it out, and then I'd blur my whole skin, and then I'd hide the bags under my eyes, and I'd do all of this stuff to my pictures. And at the time, like, I thought it was making me look great and whatever. And then I remember like looking back on these pictures on my Instagram, and I put them as like archives, so you can't see them anymore. But I looked at them, and I look at them now, and I think, oh my God, how sad is that I actually felt the need to blur out a spot or whatever. Everyone has bags under their eyes and hide. Everyone has spots. No one, do you know what? No one doesn't. But the problem is like when you're young, like you just kind of do follow what other people are doing, and then you do fall into that trap. But I think the key message to it all is to just know that you're a real person and to not look at these people that you don't know. Because do you know what? There are some girls that I actually do know, and on their Instagram, they look one way, and then you see them in person and they're still just as gorgeous, but they don't look exactly like how they look on their Instagram. And even me, there's probably some pictures of me online and then people see me in person and think, right, okay. Do you know what I mean? It's just life. Do you know what I mean? We all know the good angles to take and this and that.
Good angles? What the hell's that? You look at me from any angle and
The best angle for me is there.
yeah. He does a mean eyebrow pose that he puts on Twitter. He's like Brock's dad. We'll move on to the next question. This is an interesting one for me. If you weren't into music, what would your profession be? What would you be into now?
This is a really weird one for me because I've obviously done music from a young age, so I've just had my heart set on it. But I think that I would have some sort of job to do with children. I think I would love to like maybe work in a primary school or do some sort of thing with children. I just love children. I feel like they're so...
I can see that though. I can see you being in that setting. You're the bubbly teacher that I get on with.
Yeah.
Kids come out and the teachers love him and we're kind of like such a good fit. I can see you being that.
I think that would be the thing that I would like to do. I love it. And like kids at primary school, they're just so full of just, you know, dreams and everything. And it's sort of just, I don't know, when I did that school tour, it's just so lovely. Like I've got lots of little ones in my family, like lots of little cousins and my little brother. So yeah, I think that would be the profession I would go down.
Final question. You ever thought about fast tracking and going on to something like X Factor or Britain's Got
Oh, this is the question. Okay. I think there are lots of pros and cons and everything's kind of personal to you. I wouldn't absolutely say no to X Factor or Britain's Got Talent and that sort of stuff. And actually, when I was younger, I was scouted to go on Britain's Got Talent, but I can't remember how old I was. I must have been like 12 or 13 and I was very young. I performed at the Hammersmith Apollo. So this is the first audition. So I went and I performed there. But for me, because I was so young, it was just not good. Like I remember coming home and just feeling like really ill from it because it was just such an intense day. The thing is, I've had one of my good friends, Molly Hocking, she won The Voice, not last year, but the year before. And it's been great for her. And she's just released a new single and all this sort of stuff. And I think if it works for you, it works for you. I wouldn't ever say no to it. I always say this, right now, I want to do it organically and build up my following and just get that experience. Because do you know what? There are people that might go on X Factor and fast track it or whatever, but they haven't had those gigs where there are weird men shouting stuff at you or where there is someone saying that you sound awful and that you sound like a cat being strangled or whatever. They haven't. I think all the bad parts of going out and gigging and actually putting in that groundwork are the things that build you to be strong enough to be stuck in that limelight. So I think for me, it's been really important to actually spend these years putting that hard work in.
The other side as well, I think for you, your music is your music, and that comes in lyrics, in the style of the music. You developed your own sound, your own personality and character to the music. I'm talking specifically. And I don't think with shows like X Factor and Britain's Got Talent, the whole sort of Simon Cowell stable, and it's got its place. I'm not trying to be overly critical. I think you end up becoming part of that machine. Oh yeah, definitely. Like, no, you can't sound like that. You need to sound like this. Whereas you've got a freedom to explore different things, and that builds that sound. You know, a lot of bands and musicians, their style has come because they've learnt through, like you say, gigging and all that kind of stuff, exactly who they are and what kind of music they are.
Definitely. Yeah.
Those where they're like, well, this is who I see you as. This is what
Yeah.
we're going to mold you into. And it's like, but that's not real.
Yeah.
Whereas
And I think the thing is like back to like when I was younger and I got scouted to go on Britain's Got Talent, I knew I could sing, but I hadn't had that time to sort of, I was writing songs and stuff, but I wasn't like developed as an artist, if that makes sense. So I'm really grateful that even I did get through the first round, but even though it didn't go on to me progressing and like winning the show or something like that, it's given me that time, because do you know what, I progress every single year, every single 6 months. I change and I develop, the same as any artist. But what I will say is this year has taught me that you can't predict what's going to happen and what's right for you and what's not. So even though for one person X Factor or Britain's Got Talent or American Idol might not be right, for another it might be. And I always joke with my best friend James, I'm like, right, if we get to a point where I haven't like got to where I want to be with my music, we are booking a flight to America and we're going to audition for American Idol. Okay, we're doing it. Like, that is our thing. What this year has taught me is that you can't predict anything. And as a musician, absolutely everything has been taken away. Gigs, being able to like organically go to a bar and play and start chatting with someone who knows someone and this and that. It's all been taken away. As a musician, I think any platform can be a good platform if you are positive about it and you just try and have that mindset. I mean, everything's different for everyone, but I mean, there are some people that won't want to put themselves on, like, say for example, like TikTok singing. But loads of people are growing hundreds of thousands of followers doing their singing videos on TikTok. And, you know, it's just, I think this year has taught me that you do need to just grab opportunities and try and run with it. And you can't overthink absolutely everything as to whether it's right or wrong for you.
How do you protect yourself with all this when you're on? I mean, social media is a brutal place at the best of times. Mm-hmm. How do you take care of you and make sure that you're in a good place with all of this happening?
I am a very emotional person, and I wouldn't say I've got the thickest skin ever. So for me, the best thing to try and do is not be sat on your phone all the time. And if you get a nasty comment, try and take it with a pinch of salt, even though it will upset you. If you read something that upsets you or is a bit rude, because some people say something that they don't even mean to be rude, but it's like a backhanded comment, and you read it and you think, what? And it can really like get under your skin. But what I try and do is, like, I'll just try and be, oh, that's sad for them. And then I'll put my phone down and I won't harbour on what they've said. Even if it's something that has really upset me, I will just try and go for a walk, or I will go and talk to my mum and be like, oh, they just said this to me, blah, 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 blah. Don't care anymore. That's how I try and be, because you're always going to have people make nasty comments to you. It's part of it. You just got to grow a thick skin and just feel sorry for them.
One of our previous guests, a guy called Adam Pearson, who's quite well known, but I was watching an interview with him actually, and he was saying that what he does with any kind of nasty comments, because he's got facial disfigurement, so he gets a lot of trolls who what he actually does is he screenshots it, so he doesn't have to retweet them and feed into their thing, and then just goes through and does a complete edit of all the errors of the grammar.
I love that.
And that's how he responds. And that's
I love that. Oh my goodness. Maybe I'll do that.
It's therapeutic, but you do have to grow a second skin with this sort of thing. And various reasons why people will come after you. And a lot of the reasons aren't genuine at all. It could be they're making the comment because there's a jealousy there.
Oh, yeah, definitely.
They are just having a bad day and need to vent on someone. They need to spread that anger and hurt onto someone else. So it's really difficult, and it's very easy to say, walk away. And of course, like I said, it's very easy to say, very difficult to do. But once you get into the realms of being more popular and you get more fans, those
you can't let it be something that stops you from doing what you want to do, because I am a sensitive person and I do take things to heart. And there have been a few times that maybe I've had a comment or something and I think, God, like, is this what I'm signing myself up for? People picking me apart or making fun of me or whatever. And I'm lucky that at the minute that I don't get those comments all the time, which I'm obviously really grateful for. But like, for example, like on TikTok, I've been uploading some videos recently and they've been getting a lot of views, and the comments will be coming in and I'm just waiting for something nasty to be said. Like I'm literally like in my thing, and I'm like, someone's going to say something,
You can have 1,000 positive comments, but you'll only listen to one negative.
Yeah, but the thing is you just need to have that mindset that in the grand scheme of things, they're irrelevant, their comment, you just got to feel sorry for them that they made that comment for whatever reason. They must be having an awful time, or they must whatever. And then you can't let it stop you from doing what you want to do. You just can't be like that. You just got to just try and brush it off. And if you need to cry about someone saying something nasty about you, cry about it. Fine. Do you know what I mean? But you just need to not care. Do you know what I mean? Like, they're irrelevant to you. You're never going to meet them. You know, it's just, it is part of it, unfortunately.
Put it in the box and put it away, basically.
Yeah, exactly.
Thanks so much for joining us, everyone. That's all we've got for this week. I want to thank, as always, Chris.
Thank you, mate.
And of course, as we do every week with the amazing guests we've got, but it really is just a pleasure this week to have spoken to Yazzy. Thanks so much for taking the time to join us.
No, thank you for having me, and say a little hi to Sienna for me.
I will. We'll have all of Yazzy's links down in the description for this. You can check out her TikTok, her Instagram, her Facebook, everything that she's got, social media everywhere.
And everywhere.
They're in the description. Please do like this video. Please do comment. We want to hear how you handle social media. Do you find it really challenging when you're getting these people who just want to say negative things? How do you handle it, and how do you turn it into a positive? Chuck it in the comments. Please do subscribe to our channel. Please do ring that bell so that you always get notifications of new content coming up. Stay safe, stay well, and we will see you guys on the next episode.